Previously on American Girl Doll Horror Stories. Soot, are you alright? Oh, got you! Georgina, stop this. I am not your enemy.
Were you looking for me, you ugly sea monster? There, you see? That fire elf is bullying me.
But when it is my friends, it is a different story.
Oh, Shuttle, help me! If you think I will allow you to hurt Gloomy, you have another thing coming.
Back to the house.
Georgina, dear, maybe we should rethink this through. Thank goodness we were able to escape when we did, or else we might have been in trouble. What? And just let them get away with what they did to us? But it seems to me that they already said they were sorry and that it was all a misunderstanding. They are lying, Channel. I can't believe this. Don't tell me you are on their side. Don't be silly. Of course I am on your side. I am your friend. If you are really my friend, then you will just support me. I am leaving. Zai, what am I going to do? It has been 2 weeks since we last saw Georgina and her friend, Channel. Maybe they gave up already.
I don't think so. We better not keep our guards down. We should always be ready.
Okay, well, I am just going to stick with you in case they do plan something awful.
Thanks. Anyway, I might as well start with my story. We have been gone for too long. Welcome to American Girl Doll Horror Stories, where every Sunday, we will share a spooky story that will send shivers down your thorny spine. Without further ado, let me call my book of shadows so we can begin tonight's spooky story. By what creeps, what crawls, by what does not. Book of Shadows, dilly-dally not. Grandma returns. This story is about a group of young kids whose grandma warned them that they ever misbehaved, she will come back to haunt them. They thought it was not serious until one fateful night. Weeks before my grandma left us, she told us if we didn't behave, she'd come back and twist our ears. We were just kids at the time, so we were scared witless. A few months later after she left us, I started hanging out with trashy kids at my school who had a bad influence on me. I never listened to my parents anymore, and I would argue with them. I was undergoing my rebellious stage. One night, my parents decided to leave the house and left me with my 2 younger twin sisters about 6 years old and a brother about 4 years old. I was in the living room downstairs playing on the PS4 when I heard a slow knock at the door. I went up to the door and peeked through the peephole, but there was nobody outside. It was pitch black. Without thinking, I opened the door and felt a gust of cold breeze go past me into the house. I closed the door and locked it before heading back to the living room. One of my little twin sister walked downstairs toward me with a scared look on her face. She looked at me and said, "I saw Grandma sitting on your bed." I felt as if my spirit has just left my body, looking at him as if she were crazy. I told her she was just seeing things. After checking my room, there was nothing there. I went back downstairs to play my game, but I heard my little brother crying. As I ran to him, he pointed to my parents' dark room and said Grandma was stealing his toy. I looked in the room. As I flipped the light on, his toys were on the ground next to the computer. I was scared to death, but I had to stay strong for my siblings, so I just chose not to believe them. It was midnight now, and I recalled my mom telling me they wouldn't be home until very late, so I had to put my siblings in bed. After putting my younger siblings to bed, I turned off all of the lights and went into the bathroom to do number 2. As I was sitting on the toilet, I heard slow footsteps in the hallway. As I exited the bathroom and looked at the hallway floor, I noticed there was a string on the floor. I picked it up and realized it was one of the strings tied to Grandma's arm before she passed. I went back into the bathroom and turned on the lights to have a better view of it. I looked in the mirror and saw Grandma standing behind me for a second, but she disappeared within a second after I blinked. I thought I was just seeing things, so I left the string there and went back into my room to sleep. I turned the light off and covered the blanket over me as I felt someone walking by the end of my bed slowly pulling my blanket away. I pulled it back as much as I could until it stopped. After what felt like an hour later, I was about to fall asleep when my siblings ran into my room nearly crying, telling me they saw Grandma with her eyes were popping out, and long tongue. We stayed in my room cuddling as we waited until the parents came back home. I was just 13 years old, so I told them everything we saw, but they didn't believe us. Ever since then, I would experience scary stuff like my door randomly opening or the bathroom sink randomly turning on. I even have dreams of Grandma following me. The shaman said that Grandma just wanted to come mess with us because she missed us, and I wasn't behaving. Since then, I started behaving again and stopped hanging out with my trashy friends. Grandma had also stopped messing with me. We should always heed our parents and grandparents because most of the time, they have our best interest at heart. One of the most common reminders we often hear is to avoid people who are a bad influence to us. We should not mingle with ruffians and delinquents because they will only lead us to a dark path. Remember the old saying, birds of the same feather flock together, and it just takes one bad apple to ruin the entire basket of apples. Stop hanging around people whom you know are just going to pull you down with them.
Good advice. Maybe I should listen to you. Hey you, what are you doing here? Relax. I am not going to do anything bad. I just want to make amends.
Why don't we all have a cup of tea? Let's go talk this over. But before that is all for tonight's spooky story. Please come back next Sunday as we share another scary story from the dark side of the world. Again, this is Gloomy Sunday and that is my cat, Soot, my friend Freya, and our guest Chanel. Blessed be. To be continued.